Hey, we're good?
We're good. We're ready to roll.
All right. It's a Friday, and I'm holding the guys up there, so I'm not going to say too much. I'll just open it up, and we can roll, Brad.
Let's start first with Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon.
Hi, Herbie.
You've been around some pretty unique running backs throughout your career. Steven Jackson in St. Louis, and then obviously Darren Sproles in New Orleans. Now you get to face a guy like Christian McCaffrey. Well, what is it about him that is unique, and what sets these kinds of backs apart from others, especially when you're defending against them?
Yeah, it's normally easy when they put a bunch of wideouts in, you have wideouts, and they take running backs, put them in, you have running backs. That's what they do. But this guy does everything. In some packages, you need to sit there and treat him as a wideout, and then you got to treat him as back. The challenge is, as the game's going and they're changing what he is and where he goes, that our guys are in tune to that. So that's the biggest challenge. It's we don't want to get in a unfavorable mismatch on our side. So that will be the game that we'll try to play and not put anybody in a tough situation, because we fully expect him to come out there and do what he does, which is everything. Run it, catch it, and who knows, he might want to throw it too. I know I've seen tape of him throwing it, so we'll be ready for all of it.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Steve, a couple questions about Sean Wharton. In camp, or in the virtual off season, could you tell what you had there? I mean, did you have any idea that maybe he was at that point going to be more than just a developmental type guy? And Brad, I'll have a quick follow-up as well.
Yeah, I don't know that Coach, Brendan and I knew whether he was going to be part of it, like you're saying. But I do remember Coach Daly, after they would have their individual Zoom meetings, and we would talk as a staff about the new guys. I do remember him being thoroughly impressed with Turk and Mike Dana in terms of the cerebralness of football and how much they were into it and how hard they worked at it. But it was strictly a guessing game on the physical part of it. But it didn't take long to figure out that he had a pretty good little niche, and he's got some explosiveness. That both those guys, I know we're talking about Turk, but both those young guys have been very, very helpful.
And then was there any moments in actual training camp where you said, okay, this guy might be Division II and he might be a rookie, but he's going to be able to play for us. He's going to be able to help us this year.
Yeah, I do know that the strength coaches, I remember coming to us early about how strong he was in the weight room. And again, after we got going with pads on a little bit here and there, I do remember Brendan saying to me, hey, we might have something here. So it was fairly early, and then it was just a learning curve and a kind of a growth maturity process and learning the defense. But he's great to have around.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach. Earlier this week, Trevarius Ward had mentioned on social media, he says he's in a slump and he's got to come out of it. Curious just, what your kind of take is on how he's playing right now. Is he in a slump, and, what does he need to do to get out of it if he is?
Yeah, I thoroughly do not think he's in a slump. Somebody asked me that. I think we were doing a production meeting yesterday, and I wasn't aware of it until they said that, and you're bringing it up. No, I wouldn't say that. Listen, this is the way I explained it. When you're a press team, which we do with our corners, and Trevarius has pressed a lot on a wideout, some of the best work that those corners do goes fully unnoticed because the quarterback doesn't throw it over there because he's got them well covered. And I think there's a number of plays out there where C-Dub is doing that. A play is sticking in my head right now that nobody will see this or recognize, but it was the 4th and 4 at the end of the half. We actually had his man doubled, and the inside double kind of got lost, and so it opened up and looked like. But I thought what he did on that play and getting that receiver down, he tried to club the ball out. These are the little things that I see. He does it all the time in practice. He's detailed. He's become the consummate pro. No, a slump is not a word that I would use to say. But listen, I'm glad he thinks that way, because that just tells me he just wants to get better and better. So I respect that.
Next to Steve Bowles. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Coach. Just at the halfway point this season, and I don't know if you self-scout your guys in season, but what grade would you give your guys, your defense thus far? And in your eyes, where do you see the biggest needed improvement down to be successful down the stretch?
Yeah, I don't do the grade thing. when I say that is I'm not going to spit anything out on a grade. I'll tell you why. I believe the only time that you get into stats, standings, statistics, whatever you want to say, is at the end of the year when it's all over. I don't know that we don't talk very much about it, to be honest with you, as a staff or as a unit, about where we stand here and we're good in this one and we're not so good in that one. We just feel like, and this is being truthful now, we just feel like we need to get better at everything all the time. If we happen to be number one in something this particular week or up to this point, we certainly wouldn't say, we don't have to work on that. We're first and whatever. But that's just how we go about it. It's always about getting better because we know the next game is always going to be the toughest game. So that's just how we approach it.
Next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Steve, a similar question. When you took over a year ago, you had said this is going to be a slow burn where you're going to try to start basic and then slowly add and add. Now that you're a year and a half in, I was wondering if it's about where you thought you could as far as different blitzes and things like that.
Yeah.
Are you ahead of schedule or just where you're at?
That's a good question. I haven't pondered that ahead or behind. Maybe right on schedule. I do feel very comfortable in, I think the whole staff does, in adding, expanding, putting things in and knowing that the players can handle it. I mean, I have that confidence in guys like Hitch and Tyron and the guys up front. They really roll with it really pretty good. Some of the best work that our defensive unit does, and it's between coaches and the players, is the in-game things that they do. Brendan, Matt, Britt, Dave and Sam, the work they do on the sideline while the game's going on and the interim with the players is really terrific. And that helps us a lot. It helps me out a lot.
Let's go last to Karen Kornacki. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Coach Spags. I've been rolling on this, but I just got the chance to sit down and want to ask you, when you heard that your head trainer had COVID and then Chris Jones had to sit out and all the protocols are working, and as a result, today's schedule is a little different with offense and defense. Does it make you feel better that everything's working the way it's supposed to when those things happen during this pandemic? Or is there still a little bit of that, oh gosh, we've been doing so well and now this? I mean, what is your gut reaction when that news kind of comes along and things immediately go into effect?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, we have a lot of confidence in the way things have functioned here and the people that are in charge. I know I do. And I would say this, Coach Reed, and he's been like this since all the years I've been with him, is as solid as a rock in everything. And I think that it just filters to all of us. He is the best at not letting distractions or anything throw him off. I think the players see that, the coaches see it, and it keeps us all, and we all feel comfortable about how we're handling things. And then I think, again, it comes back to trust in the people that are in charge in particular areas who I think do an outstanding job, and just point at the leadership of Andy. And that's why I think all of us feel the way we do.
Coach Spags, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, Brad, you got it. Thank you.